Give me 1 second. Yeah, I think now I have the red dot in my screen, so it's now recording. Yes? Then I'll hand over the wheel to you, Tarak.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. I hope you see the presentation, right?
Yes, correct.
Yes, okay. So I only shared the presentation in my quick notes. I didn't share them. So first of all, welcome also from my side to this webinar. Again, I already did one webinar for the Benelux market. Sorry, it was in English. Again in English. I promised to learn Dutch, but yeah, this will happen soon. I promise. But let's still do it in English. So what we will talk about today, it's not a sales presentation. It's really, we are going a little bit deeper in a very interesting topic, which is the return of invest. I called the presentation the why for inspection. So why should we invest in inspection, and also how to calculate the return of invest of an inspection machine, because inspection machines, as you all know, are not producing machines, so it's a little bit difficult sometimes. And in the past, yeah, we had different ways how to calculate it. Also, our customers have different ways how to calculate it. So we created a little bit, yeah, let's say through two examples, a way how to calculate and to show you a little bit how the return of investment inspection machines can be done. As Tuan mentioned, it will be recorded. This is okay. What we will do, we do that at all webinars, is I will present everything. If you have a question, for sure, just put it in the chat or interrupt me, it's okay. But anyhow, at the end, we will have some time where we can discuss a little bit. No? So questions you may have, or also in general, or other topics around inspection. No? And then we will stop the recording so we can, again, nothing will be recorded. You can shout at me if you want, or however, everything fine. Let me start. So, hope I can move forward. Yeah. So a first overview. I will jump a little bit these things, just to show you the idea of all suppliers, for sure Mycronic as well, is we want to help you to improve your KPIs, to make you also make more money, because this is how we gain also money. If you are have a healthy company, then we are also doing well. And so at the end, if we just break it down, we want to improve your bottom line and help you on that. You know? So for that, there are different ways, for sure, with all the Mycronic machines. You may know it's not only inspection, but again, today focusing on inspection, I want to focus on yeah, let's say 2 points from the inspection. Is one case is the performance of the process, so the productivity. How can we help you here? And the second one is the quality of the process. These are the 2 points where we can help you. So one, to the product, coming to the productivity, 1 point is the first pass yield, which is very important. Means that the boards you are entering at the beginning of the line, they need to come out on the first time with a good result. And how may we help you, or what is our job in achieving the best first pass yield, is for sure on the beginning of the line with the SPI, to get from the beginning less false calls, less escapes, less reworks and downtimes, and also, let's say, at the middle, before the oven, or even at the end with the AOI, a higher net output, less resources you need, a higher uptime, and higher asset efficiency. No, these are things where we can help. And I would say normally, I'm, maybe Tuan mentioned at the beginning, more responsible for Europe. So in Europe, but it's the same worldwide, a typical first pass yield of an OEM is like 85%. The potentials we see is that you can go up to 95% or even higher in some cases, for sure, but this is more the average. For EMS, it's much more difficult, and I know that most companies in Holland are EMS. Here, you are not owner of the boards of the program, so it's a little bit more difficult. Normally they are around 50%, but also here we see a high potential by having a good library and a robust library, good machines, and so on. So this is a little bit as an introduction. How we started in the past, or what we did, was very often we get testimonials from from our customers. So for example, this one is from the US. After buying an SPI, he said, now I can see things which I didn't expect. We asked him about the 10 biggest benefits he had now and the big points he saw. I will not read or go through everything, but just as you can see, there are some points. I'm quite sure that if you have an SPI or you are thinking about SPI, you also know that these points, or this is where an SPI can help you. But the point below is a little bit, it's okay, and we know that, but it's not, we need numbers also, especially talking about bottom lines, about money. We want to have clear numbers. So saying, yeah, we can help you. You will find errors on your printing process. You will find errors here, is okay. Nearly everybody knows that, because otherwise, why should you even think about buying an inspection machine? But to get numbers, it's a little bit, yeah, we have to go a little bit more in detail, let's say. So this is why I took here two real life examples. These were two big benchmarks we had in the past, a little bit older, 18 and 2019, but very big ones. This is why I took these two. One, I will not mention the names of the companies, but one is one absolute top OEM in Germany, a very big company, and the other one is one of the top French EMS. And you see that here also, I will not go through all the different points, but after implementing a 3D AOI, in this case it was ours, this is why we have the numbers, but in general we are talking about a 3D AOI with our software SigmaLink. You see that before, I have to say that also, now this has to be clear, they had both a 2D AOI. So going in 3D AOI and also in a better product, they had a clear jump on the first pass yield in both cases. You see that especially also the French company was quite impressive already, the numbers for EMS, but in the automotive industry, they have to be quite good there to survive. But with the 3D AOI and all our software and analyze tools, they went much higher. So really nearly to very, very good or even perfect results for an EMS. The question we are asking ourselves as Mycronic, but also I think all other suppliers, is how can we achieve this the perfect first pass yield? How can we help you? As Mycronic, to improve your productivity, I divided it a little bit. So the legend here is what are our unique selling point, where we say, there we have a very strong product, and which are things which are matching the industry benchmarks. No? So also others have. Both things are important to achieve a very good first pass yield. For the software, for example, becoming more and more important for sure. We are not only selling machines which are just sensors. No? So normally, if you buy a good 3D AOI, it will always catch the errors, independent from the supplier you buy. It's the software behind who is really making the difference. And we have a very, very good software called SigmaLink, combining SPI and AOI, so really the data correlation. I will not go too much into detail here because it's a short webinar and this is not the focus today, but just to tell you, also to analyze the root cause. On SPI, the auto programming is helping. Then we have a feature to work with our jet printing machine, for example. The feedback loop to the stencil printer is normal. Everybody has that. And for AOI, very important and where we are very strong is really that our machine is algorithm based, means that we have very strong algorithms since many, many years. Also, a very small number of false calls. There's no machine in the market where there's no false call at all, but very small, and a very strong also library structure with some tools like Library Pro, which I presented already last time, I think, in the last webinar. So let's go to the first calculation. I will not tell you in detail, we can discuss this later if you want, how I calculated all the numbers, but I will tell you at least at the beginning a few ones, because otherwise you will say, yeah, nice nice from you, Tarak, but how did you calculate it? If it's just coming out of your mind, can we trust these numbers? And that's normal that you ask this question. So I will explain a little bit how I came to these numbers. The profile of the customers, so these are also, again, some numbers we took from customers. This was a Western European high-mix EMS. This is how he's working. The number, or here the money people earn, I don't know if it's comparable to Holland. Maybe we'll say, what, 15 euros only for an operator? That's heaven. Yeah, that's the paradise, maybe. But we took, again, an average. No? So this is what we took as given. And then how did we help to improve the first pass yield, going from 50%, as you saw before, to even 89 at this customer. Before, he had 700 false calls per day, 50 real errors, so true calls, and 10 escapes. After, with the 3D AOI, with the SPI, and also implementing all the software suite, as after, for sure, not a few days, but really after a year or something, he went down to 60 false calls. He found more real errors, especially the lifted leads, for example, and so on, or let's take an BGA, the coplanarity. This is much more easy to detect in 3D, especially if you have the link to SPI and so on. That's much easier, and they don't have any escapes anymore, which is very important. It was 10. It seems not so much, but it's quite a lot. Especially if you don't find them at ICT tests or functional tests, and they go to your customers. So going down to 0 is perfect. And the line efficiency was going up from 70% to 80% in this case. Means that.
Sorry.
Yeah, please.
To interrupt. What do you consider as an escape?
Sorry, again?
What do you consider as an escape?
Escape means this is something which is not found by SPI and not by AOI. It means we just missed it. It was a real error. Yeah. So, for example, let's take a stupid example: a missing component. But on SPI, okay, it said it's enough pace, so it's okay. It went through the line, the board, and even the AOI said, yeah, the component is there, no problem, and it escaped from the AOI program. This is an escape. So this is let's say the horror scenario at the end. So you have a real error which we didn't find at all. And to the numbers, so I will explain a few ones. So how did I calculate the false call reduction? I can send you this calculation if you are interested, because I will go quite quickly through them. I took 640 false calls reduction per day. 700 minus 60, I think that's easy to calculate. I said, this is my assumption, but asking customers, like to check if it's a real error or a false call, the operator has to see that at AOI, as you know, maybe turn the image, check a little bit. It's like, I took like 20 seconds per false call. Maybe it's quite, sometimes it's easier, sometimes it takes longer, whatever. I said like 20 seconds per false call. If you multiply that, we are at 12,800 seconds divided by 60 and 60 again, then we are at 3 hours 55 per day work needed. Then again, we said, you look below, down on the top, 15 euros per hour for an operator means this is 53.25 euro per day, which are the costs of false calls this customer is paying. And this multiplied by 250 working days, we are approximately at 13,300 euros per year. No? So I hope that's a little bit clear, even if you don't have all the numbers here, but I try to do it realistic, that you get a feeling. Same for the, then if you go down to the escape reduction, it's 10 escapes per day. Now we are at 0, so we can calculate how much money we do. I said, okay, 2 shifts means 8 hours per day. These are 1.25 escapes per hour by 20, because this is not done by operator. You have to rework them or whatever. If it's found by the ICT or functional test, means 25 by 25 then, and this by 250 working days to have it per year. It's 6,250 euros per year. This is how I calculated this. Coming to the FTE, so the engineers on site, because you have less false calls now, much, as you see, 640 false calls less. What they can do, they don't need 4 FTE, so engineers on one line anymore. They are on their production floor. They can do the job with only 2 people now. And a let's say a multi repair station, let's call it this way, means that one person can, for example, check directly 2 lines. We have people or customers, one person is doing up to 4 to 5 lines, because they don't have many errors coming. So then it's possible. If for sure you have like 700 false calls, then the person will be like, oh, you have so many things coming, then you need 1 person maybe per line. And this is how also it was then we had a reduction here. So the 2 other persons can do something else, and they don't need to do the review of the errors. And the 10% amortization you saw here also from 70% to 80%. Here I just calculated 20,000 euro. This is the 1 million euro invest of the line, of the full line for sure, by 10%, and then divided by 5 years. If you take amortization of 5 years, normally this is what is done, then you are at 20K. And then, if you add all these numbers, we are on a gain on productivity of nearly 70,000 euro in 1 year. And for sure, again, this is not for all customers. Maybe in your example, it's a little bit less or a little bit more. I don't know. But this is a little bit how we calculated this one. And that with an investment, if you take our SPI and AOI as a combo with the software and so on, it costs approximately like 200,000 euros. So for an investment of this money, you can already per year win 70 or gain 70,000 euros on this productivity. That's the first example, but we have more because we are also helping you growing in quality. As you know, maybe you know this slide from Tuan. Tuan is also showing it quite often because it's very easy to understand and a very good slide, I think. We are saying, or let's say the market, this coming also from the market, that more than 70%, here we went down to 61% of all errors are coming from the printing process, especially with the stencil printer. And if you catch these errors from the beginning, for sure you save time, and time is money, so you also save money. If you catch them later on, then it's becoming more expensive and it takes more time. But normally with an SPI, you catch most errors already here, and then a few before or after the oven. Means that around 70% or even more are catched in the line. Here we have the examples of this error which we catch. Here again, a real example from this German customer who said that with this SPI and AOI combo, they have about or had about 20,800 defects in 1 year production. They are catching 14,000 of these defects with SPI AOI, and then the rest with ICT functional test or other things. Yeah. So it means that this is definitely the test solution with the lowest total cost of ownership, because you catch them very at the beginning with SPI, but or even at the AOI before the oven, for example, then it's quite easy, let's say, to rework them. So that's so means that on an inspection, all in all, in the coverage contribution of the whole process, we have about around 70% with our SPI and AOI. So we are by far the most important players in these in the process at the end. So how can we achieve now quality optimization? I will just talk a little bit about, because I don't know, Antoine is right, telling me, please explain a little bit. So this DPMO is defect per million opportunities. No? So just to explain a little bit the terms, but at the end it's going down to quality optimization, how to optimize your quality. Here again, the same example with the blue dots, where as Mycronic we say there we are unique. is again with our Sigma link for sure. The software again is very, very important, where we don't show only the picture of SPI AOI, but really we have a correlation that the SPI is telling the AOI, hey, be careful here. I didn't have enough paste. Please take a deeper look, even if you don't find you didn't find an error, if you're sure that everything is right. So here, this is how we prevent escapes to happen, for example. And same points for SPI and AOI. I will not go through all the points, but just to tell you that especially in the height referencing, I had this webinar the last time. Tuan recorded it as well, so we can send you the video if you are interested. How these Z referencing, so the height reference, why we are very strong on that and why it's so important, because for sure, if you are not perfectly measuring your height, then you cannot measure within a few microns, no? And then you are just, yeah, let's say more or less guessing the height of your pace, of your components, the volumes, and then, yeah, then it's not really making sense at the end, and you will not have a very good quality at the end in your line. And then the question is, why did you invest in inspection systems? The second example again, but this time taking into account the quality increase and not the productivity like before. Here, same example of the customer again. And here we take, so from this example, we asked and they said we have now a gain on ICT test first perceived by 3%, means that 3% they have to do 3% less ICT or have less errors, let's say, on ICT by 3%, functional test by 0.5% and scrap, so boards which they have to throw away from 0.5% to 0.2%. Small numbers, but you will see also here is a big impact. No? So if you calculate this, and here I took 12 minutes by ICT test, including the diagnostic and the retest time again per PCB, 20 minutes by functional test, and here in this example it was like 20 euros by PCB when it's fully the board is fully printed and for sure all the components are on it, so a final board. No? It was like 20 euro per board. And here are the numbers. I will explain also quickly a little bit how I came to this one. So here, if you take 1,500 PCBs, as you see, per day they have by 250 days, working days, then by 3%, by 12 minutes, and then divided by 60 to have it in hours. And then this result by 20 euro per hour, because this also is not done by the operator, but more by somebody who is doing the repairs and so on. And then we end up at these numbers. No? So 45,000 euro savings per year. On scrap is also, so here the same for sure for functional test, and on scrap is 20 euro per board by 1,500 PCBs by 250 working days by 0.3%, which we saved here. Then we are at 22,500 euro savings. Means all in all, we come down to 81,500 euro savings on quality for this customer. And if now you add what we had before for productivity, we end up on a total per year of 151,000 euro. If you remember, the investment costs means that more or less, let's say you have your return on invest in 15 to 18 months in this example. Again, these are two real examples. It's not coming from my mind, these numbers, but these are examples. Means that it may be that in your facility, you will tell me, yeah, but sorry, in our facility, the board doesn't cost 20 euros, or we are much faster here. I don't know. For sure, we need to calculate this each time. There's no fixed number where we can say, yeah, if you buy our machines, you will gain, I don't know how much. No? It depends for sure. But here again, we are not just giving you some examples and now say good luck. You may know also these 360 degrees approach from Mycronic. This is coming out, this idea from the guys in the Mycronic Benelux team, so Eindhoven team, Twan, Dan, and also Paul in the past, who let's say invented this idea how to help you really. If you remember the first slide I showed you, not only to sell machines and say, okay, now good luck, but really to try to understand your processes, your production, understand how we may help you, where you need to invest, and which savings we can do. And with all this calculation and also with the inspection, we are perfectly matching also this idea of being a real partner to you, and not trying just to sell you something, but being really kind of advising you what we think makes sense for your production. No? And here you can see, I will also here not go through all the details for sure, but you can see, for example, for the quality with our tool Sigma Analysis, which is a statistic tool, we can implement that quite quickly for sure, the equipment installation, but also planning and scheduling, engineering, so all the steps within a timeline. We can show you how these points can help you and how long it needs, because for sure it will not be from day one that you will say, wow, now I see an increase of quality of I don't know how much percent. This takes a little bit time, but to give you also, let's say a view how this will be, and that we have a clear plan and not only some ideas in mind. Yeah, that was my presentation. I hope it was not too detailed and complicated. The topic return of invest is always a little bit difficult topic, but an important topic, because again, this is what you as a customer are interested on. You don't want to buy a machine. At the end, you want to make more money, and this is why you need these machines, right? And to make more money, you want also to know what is my return of invest and how may these machines help me. Yeah, that's it from my side. If you want, you can now for sure unmute yourself. You can ask some questions if you have. And Tuan, I don't know if you stopped already the recording.
No.
Okay, you can stop the recording if you want, and then we can talk openly, or yeah.
Give me 1 second.